I was that kid who played his Game Boy Advanced SP or listening to music gazing out the window on a long car ride home. So it's no guess that noodling around in Street View is a favorite pastime of mine. You see all kinds of crazy stuff you're not supposed to. I've been playing Geogussr for a little under 5 years now, back when it was just a quaint, simple site with a fun basic premise. Now it's a giant multi-platform game. There's all kinds of user-generated challenges and themes and a roaring competitive scene, with the weekend series being this season's kicker. It's been a recent hyperfixation to get extremely sweaty and angry over blindly guessing on Google Maps. I couldn't really stop myself from playing if I tried. It's so deceptively simple, yet I'm fighting for my fucking life by the end of a round. It was pretty obvious that if I'm gonna go toe-to-toe with the big shots, I need to get my grind on. But where do you even start with this? So, when you want to get better at a game, you got a few options, right? For an example, if it's an FPS, you can boot up an aim trainer and get good at flick shots, tracking movements, even fiddling with your sensitivity can be a pretty good idea. And if it's a MOBA, you need to learn a few things like lane management, map awareness, positioning. And that's not the only thing, so okay? That's just a few things. So what do you do when you want to get better at Geogussr? Well, just like any other game, there's a meta. A few strategies include studying the differences between Greek and Cyrillic, looking to see if the Google car has a snorkel on it, counting the amount of luggage atop the car, and learning every single state's road signs. Easy peasy, right? No, really, this shit is insane, because if you want to climb out of Bronze Division, you need to be an anthropologist as much as you need to be a geographer. I say this because the flora and landscape of a particular place is only going to carry you so far. Oftentimes you'll need to reference a street sign or look at the domain name on the back of a bus just to see what country you're in. And look, I'm not by any means an expert or an authority, but if I had to guess why it's difficult to tell on geography alone, it's due to globalization. Global companies are all competing with each other for that sweet GDP. Yeah, and it's hard for local businesses in developing countries to even stay afloat. That's why there's a McDonald's as far away from the US as Samoa. I'm sure Antarctica's next. Speaking of McDonald's though, let me show you a place, and if you can guess where this is located, give Geogussr a shot, I guess. If you guessed Bonita, Oklahoma, congratulations! But also how the fuck? If you were dropped in here in-game like I have been before, it's actually insanely easy. Let me walk you through the process. What we're looking for is people driving on the correct side of the road. Any street signs, and if they're in English, that's a plus. The size of transport trucks can help narrow us down to where we are. And boom, a town sign. It even has the shape of Oklahoma on it so you know where you are. Now, okay, look, this is actually a pretty easy example. We picked a very recognizable landmark in a typical American city. But what happens when you're dropped in the middle of literal fucking nowhere? Look at the sand. Is it red or is it tan? What are the shrubs and trees looking like? Are these questions absolutely useless? Just pick Southern Africa. It's always Southern Africa, okay? I cannot underline the stress of a competitive duel enough. Anything can happen. Anything. And every match has the chance of becoming Mad Max Fury Road. You need to be deadly accurate in your choice because there's a good chance that you're going to be fine if you're a little off. But if you're in the wrong country and your opponent is not, get fucking smoked, kids. This is what makes dueling so addicting to me. There's a battle royale version of the same game where you go up against a huge slew of players and you try to find the same place, but it's just not the same, man. I need the hot-blooded vehemence of a duel to the death. Or, till our points run out. It's whatever. At the time of recording, I'm in the Silver Division, and I've got about an average ranking of 580, which is about the 29th percentile of players. I'm by no means a master. I'm not even well-seasoned. I've just witnessed countless extremely close matches. It's trench warfare out here, to say the least. Okay, let me run you through a battle I had recently. just so you get the idea of the pure mania of dueling. I went up against this one guy. Now, this dude knew his stuff. He was beating my ass in the quote retweets. Any country I'd guess, he'd guess, but closer. Even if we got the same location, he'd somehow inch out closer. And this technique won him the first match, but I couldn't let him humiliate me. We had to run it down again. I touched the gloves, and we were off. Here's a play-by-play of the last 4 rounds. I'm looking through a European city. Blue license plates, tall brick buildings. I'm thinking Lithuania. All these signs pointed me to a win at the last round. I smashed the guest down as quick as I can. He apparently found something I hadn't, because it was Paris, France. I'm way off. I'm playing at a 3,000 point deficit now. Next up, it's a .25 healing round. He tries to throw me off with a quick guess, but I'm not having it. I take a deep breath, look around and give my best guess. Iceland. I'm correct. Next round, 1.5 damage. Instantly, I gather myself. Green, tropical, Spanish. Central, South America, easy. I scan a nearby truck for a domain name. EC, Ecuador. Despite my blind panic, I find the damn place. He shot for Colombia. A close match. He's 735 miles off. I'm 142. Game, set. I hit the ground running with a quick guess, hoping he's thrown off. I gather my list. Red sand, English signs, and like I said previously, when you're in doubt, baby, it's Southern Africa. So I take a plunge. And he completely throws the match. Doesn't even bother to answer the prompt. He's broken. And triumphant, I chunk him for 2,809 points. That's the match. Check. Mate. So yeah, Geogussr's intense. It's a game your grandma could play, but it also has the skill cap of a max ELO FPS match. It's one of those games that's got a low barrier to entry, but a steep learning curve. Which, in my opinion, is dangerously addicting. If you like messing around in Google Street View, or hell, you just like seeing cities across the world, I'd give it a shot. I've had a wider range of friends approach the game due to its simplistic nature, and they're immediately hooked. Hey, if you've been outside like once, you got a fighting chance. So here, you drop this king.